Hi everyone, this is Story Rewind, and today we're talking about the movie The Zoo. As evening falls, John returns home where Karen is waiting for him. They decide to eat separately. Their relationship isn't exactly strong. A bit later, the news reports the appearance of a new disease spreading incredibly fast. John is convinced that some corporation is spreading false information on purpose just to make money off their medicine. He even suspects that the company itself might have created and released the virus for profit. Karen thinks that's impossible. Before leaving, John says he wants to learn more about a new job opportunity. Karen clearly wants to talk to him, but stays silent. The next day, an airplane crashes into their home. John panics, while Karen suddenly gets a brilliant idea. She suggests they get a divorce. John goes outside and meets a man who tells him that people infected with the new disease act violently and attack others. John rushes back home to tell Karen what he's learned. Moments later, city sirens start blaring. The infected are already nearby. They quickly turn on the TV. The anchors urge everyone to stay indoors and wait for further announcements. They check their supplies. There's not much. Karen insists John visit their neighbors and ask for food. If no one opens, she says, he can just break in. The police have bigger problems right now anyway. Later, John returns and says one of the neighbors' doors was left open. Karen sees this as the perfect opportunity to grab supplies. She arms herself with a bike helmet and a knife taped to her shoe. Her plan works. She comes back with food. John asks if she really wants to leave him, and she answers yes without hesitation. Then, Karen tells him to fetch the neighbor's TV. Later that night, the news anchor says this will be their last broadcast until it's safe to return. Everyone must avoid strangers, and soldiers will soon begin rescue operations. To identify civilians, people should mark their windows with crosses, and so the couple does. But when a helicopter flies by, it doesn't rescue them. The next morning, Karen loots more apartments. She can't stop. John asks her to promise they'll return the items once the virus crisis is over. He also questions why she's taking dresses and other useless things. John prepares for possible attacks, arming himself with a hammer and a small flamethrower. On the radio, a government official says scientists still don't understand the cause of the outbreak. The disease has already spread to several countries, but authorities are working to maintain water and electricity. Bored, the couple play cards. John believes humanity will overcome this. They always do. Karen, however, is deeply depressed and keeps drinking wine. John calls it reckless, but she says she's been drinking for over a year. He just never noticed. They argue about their relationship, which started falling apart after the death of their daughter. Karen admits she's ready to die, but John promises they'll survive. They begin training to stay fit, though Karen keeps sneaking wine. One night, there's a knock at the door. John hopes it's the military, but it's zombies. Thankfully, the titanium lock holds, and they manage to secure the door. The next day, the news reports that scientists have started developing a vaccine. While cleaning, Karen finds some strange powder and a gun she took from work. The following morning, she wakes up to loud gunshots. John is shooting vases, including one that her mother had gifted her. As she brushes her teeth, another helicopter flies by. The couple prepare Molotov cocktails and train by hitting a punching bag. Days pass with no new radio messages until someone knocks again. This time, it's their neighbors, Leo and Emily. They beg to come in, saying they were trapped after the plane crash. When they finally escaped, zombies attacked them. John lets them stay and even share food. Karen doesn't like it. She thinks they should focus only on themselves. After eating, Emily notices that some of the items in the house look just like hers. Karen doesn't know what to say and lacks the courage to kick them out. The next morning, Emily stays in the bathroom for a long time, testing Karen's patience. At breakfast, Karen asks the guests to help clean up to earn their meal. Privately, Emily calls it humiliating, but Leo doesn't mind. They can just play along or leave. Emily has another plan, to attack the couple while they sleep. Later, as John and Karen nap, Emily makes her move. But Karen was only pretending to sleep. She hears everything and warns John. They decide to strike first. Karen bakes cookies laced with a mysterious powder, and soon, Leo and Emily collapse. But seconds later, they rise again, no longer human. Karen is forced to use her gun. Afterwards, she and John take sleeping pills. That same night, soldiers check the building, asking survivors to turn on their lights. Since no one responds, the helicopter leaves. The next day, John and Karen finally make peace. They no longer want a divorce and even talk about adopting a child. John admits that after their daughter's death, he buried himself in work, but this virus made him realize how important Karen really was. Their talk is interrupted by a knock at the door. The people outside claim to be rescuers. Because there's no peephole, Karen opens the door and finds bandits instead. They demand John gather all the valuables, while Karen is told to deal with something else. But Karen isn't helpless. She takes one of them down. Hearing the noise, the others rush in, giving John a chance to grab a gun. After the fight, they sit together, drinking beer. Later, real rescuers arrive, but don't notice them. When the couple runs outside, they're met by a horde of zombies. John fights them off and slams the door shut, but the helicopters fly away. That night, Karen gets bitten. John insists that as long as she's alive, she won't turn. He believes the company that caused all this will soon release the cure. But a day later, Karen begins feeling strange hunger. John offers his own blood to keep her stable. She warns him he can't keep doing that forever. He says he has no choice. They embrace, and she tastes his blood one last time. When John wakes up, Karen is gone. She's left a letter thanking him for everything, saying she can no longer control her hunger, and asks him to come to the children's room. There, Karen has chained herself to the radiator and asks John to fulfill her final wish. Soldiers spot John through the window and break in, but by then, he's already turned into a zombie too. The soldiers eliminate the couple and move on. And that's the end of the movie. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a like. We'll be back soon with another story. Bye!